I'm your host, Dr. Joe Dispenza. Let's begin. There's 4 types of meditation. There's a seated meditation, which, is most common, and then there's a standing and walking meditation, and there's a lying down meditation. We practice all of those, but the walking meditation is so valuable, Fritzy, because you could have the best meditation in the world, feeling all holy, all connected, in a great place of gratitude and love, and then you get up, you open your eyes, and there's somebody that's pushing your buttons, and you forget everything. And you return back to your old self again. There's no possibility, because that's the same. It's the same energy, it's the same personality, it's the same life. So then, what if you have been practicing how to open your heart and you got really good at it sitting down? What if you could stand up and practice that same exact thing, close your eyes and raise your energy and get in that state, and then say, okay, I'm going to open my eyes now and I'm going to practice, just like rehearsing lines in a movie. I'm going to practice becoming this person. So how would I walk? How would I breathe? How would I move? Let me embody this energy. Let me get in the habit of how I'm going to be as this new person. And so practicing it with your eyes open creates the habit of you becoming somebody else. And I want people to walk as if it's already happened. I want them to walk in the power and the energy of who they are. And do it enough times till they become it. And when you become it, you stop trying to have to do it, because when you are it, you won't go unconscious. So use the walking meditations as a tool, just like anybody that you're practicing anything, to take your body out for a test drive. Take the animal out and condition it into a new state and practice it with your eyes open, so that in time when you go from your cell outside to the basketball court or to the weight room, or you go from the mess hall, where you eat, back to your cell, you're walking like a noble being. You're walking in the energy of power. You're walking in the energy of who you are. And you keep doing that, that becomes who you are in time. So we've seen people in walking meditations, I've seen this so many times, start the meditation with crutches. And by the end of the walk, their crutches are in the garbage can, and their chronic health condition is gone. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, numerous times. So we had a guy that was in the event just a couple months ago in Cancun, and he was a war veteran, and had broken his back many times, had a terrible PTSD. He was in really bad shape. He took all kinds of drugs. He was suicidal. Nothing was working. Then they did surgeries on both his knees. And when he came out of the surgeries, the pain in his feet was so bad that he asked the doctors in time to cut his legs off, to cut his feet off, because he couldn't tolerate the pain. And they said, we can't guarantee that, because you may still have phantom pain. Even though you don't feel, the brain may still think there's pain there. And so he came to the event, and gosh, just a really beautiful man, and just didn't know much, just tell me what to do, I'll just do whatever you tell me, sweet Green Beret. He was like a special ops guy, so he fell out of planes, he did everything, and his body was pretty beat up. And he had one moment, and when we lay down after a meditation, where he felt this energy course through his nervous system. When he opened his eyes, he had no pain in his feet. Now that was just the start. So when he got to the walking meditation, he started the event in a wheelchair. When he got to the walking meditation, he had 2 crutches and walked on the beach with 1,500 people with those crutches, just making it. And then the next day, I see him out there with 1 crutch, and he's just leaning on that crutch, and he's practicing, going against everything he learned to be the hard guy. And he starts opening his heart, and the wind starts whipping, and his body started to believe that he was in a new environment, because the emotion was so strong. The body thought that he was in the environment where he was healing. Now, in about 10 minutes, and I didn't know much about him, but I saw him with the crutches. I'm watching him run down the beach, and I'm watching the volunteer running behind him, holding the crutch, and he smoked this guy, and then turned around. I see him running down the beach the other way as fast as he can, and there's no volunteer anymore. He left the guy in the dust. To this day now, he has no pain. He runs now again. He's completely happy with himself, happy with his life. He's in a new body. He's in a new life. He's in a whole new future. And now all of a sudden we're getting all these veterans now, because all the guys that were in his branch, and all the guys that he fought with and who struggle with their own health problems, mental health and physical health, are showing up because he showed them what was possible. So we have no idea what we're doing today, whose lives we're going to affect tomorrow. We have no idea what possibility looks like when you change. That's the unknown, and that's the cool part about it. Well, look, I mean, there's many things that I love about my personality, just like you do. I'm going to take that with me. But there are things, if I'm going to be defined by a vision of the future, there are things that can't come. Because the moment you say, I want to have a mystical experience where I transcend this three-dimensional world, and you want to have a really profound moment, a transcendental moment, you start showing up for that, and it doesn't happen right away, then what? You're going to start disbelieving? You stop believing yourself? So the moment we're defined by a vision of the future that's bigger than us, that vision of the future is not the vision of the past. And when we do that, we take with us our discipline, we take with our concentration, we take our presence, we take our passion, we take our strengths with us. All those things you take. But the things that are standing in the way are those old beliefs. The things that stand in the way that stop you from connecting to it. Those are the things you come up against, and it's not the mystical experience or the transcendental experience. It's who you become. It's not your wealth. It's not your health. It's who you become. It's not your freedom. It's who you become in the process, and it's the overcoming process that we overcome, that we overcome, that we overcome, that we overcome till we finally become. And there's so many great people in history. Even wealthy people. People always want to be wealthy, but if you study wealthy people that really did it, they failed miserably thousands of times until they figured it out. And so you keep showing up for yourself enough times, you're going to change. You're going to change. You're going to be thinking differently. You're going to be acting differently. You're going to be feeling differently. And that's when the universe starts to conspire in ways that we just never even thought about. That's the beauty behind creation. I never thought, Fritzy, that I would be seeing things that I'm seeing in this current time right now. I mean, we have, in the last 2 years, blind people seeing, deaf people hearing, people with stage 4 cancers that have spread to their bones, to their organs, complete reversal. We have people that had rare genetic disorders that science had no solution for, that are living normal lives, people that were physically abused, emotionally abused, sexually abused, were suicidal, had all kinds of health conditions, bliss their past, and love their life and who they are right now. So, and then we have great scientific data to show, like, oh my God, that person, the amount of energy that's taking place in their brain is so outside of normal that something transcendental is happening to that person. And you can't tell me you're too old to do it. You can't tell me you're too sick to do it. You can't tell me you never meditated before. We've seen people that never even meditated. Their wives dragged them to a workshop, and these guys hit gold. You can't tell me you had a turbulent past, because I've seen so many. It doesn't matter who you are, what you eat, what your race or skin color is. Nobody's excluded from the phenomenon. It's a formula. So you learn the formula, and when you do, you can run into something way bigger than you. And the arousal that happens in the nervous system, in the brain, in the body, according to our research, the arousal is not fear. The arousal is not pain. The arousal is not aggression or anger. The arousal is ecstasy. And that sympathetic nervous system switches on, and that person runs into something that causes them to awaken. They touch something very divine. And when that occurs, the brain moves into these elegant, coherent states where the person is having a moment that they will never forget for the rest of their lives. The side effect of that is when they open their eyes, they are going to see reality differently. Some conditioning, some veil, some illusion is going to be removed, and they're going to look back at their entire past and they're going to say, I don't want to change one thing in my past, because it brought me to this present moment. And that's the moment the past no longer exists. And gosh, we have seen that. We just finished an event just last week with 1,500 people. We had all of our scientific team there, and God, the measurements we're getting during this mystical moment, this transcendental moment, we can predict it now, we can induce it, and we can replicate it. And that gets really cool, because the amount of energy in the brain is so outside of normal that when we show neuroscientists our data, they just say this can't be possible. And I say, okay, we'll show you another one. Okay, we'll show you another one. Okay, we'll show you another one. Person after person having these moments is pretty cool. So for me, I think that the journey begins when we start asking bigger questions, and we're not afraid to show up for ourselves and step into that unknown experience. That's the thing that defines us from that point forward.